Hello students, today we are going to discuss the concept of dominant and entrenched caste and their role in Indian politics, a contemporary scenario. This unit would enable the students to understand caste structures, the concept of dominant caste, the dimensions of the functions of the dominant caste, the concept of entrenched caste and their role in Indian politics. To begin with, the institution of caste in contemporary times has become more relevant than ever before because of the way the political parties have transferred political power to them, enabling them to assume unlimited political capital. In independent India, the constitutional safeguards provided for the development and upliftment of the backward communities, specifically the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes, has given a new lease of life to these communities. The tendency, of course, is in contrast with bringing about a classless and a casteless society that the political elites profess. Caste-based discrimination and subjugation have been a malicious features of Indian politics and Indian society, and in the post-independent period, this overlapping with politics have not only made it possible for hitherto oppressed caste and caste groups to be accorded political freedom and recognition, but has also raised consciousness among these groups about their political significance. Caste is a system of social stratification which lies at the very heart of the social system in India. Social structures reflects the persistent pattern of social interaction existing within and among various social groups. These patterns of interaction are guided by the standardizing system of the society. Caste structures is thus a pattern of social behavior in which groups and individuals are guided by prescribed set of norms, values and sanctions. The groups and individuals occupy specific status within and in relation to other groups. In the system, individuals are born into a certain caste and thereby acquire the role and status associated with the caste identity. Sociologists have defined caste as, which is locally referred to as jati, as a hereditary endogamous group which is usually localized. It has traditional association with an occupation and particular position on the local hierarchy of caste. Relation between caste are governed, among other things, by the concept of pollution and purity, and generally maximum commensality, that is, interdining occurs within the caste. This definition describes the ideal form of caste system. However, in real life, there are innumerable variations and permutations in terms of the structures and functionings of the caste system. Being a dynamic reality which is highly flexible, it has shown tremendous variations from one region to another. The caste system is interlinked with the Varna model, which divides the Hindu society into four groups: the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas and the Sudras. The first three castes are twice born or Dvija, since the men of these castes are entitled to don the sacred thread at the Vedic rite of Upanayana, which the Sudras were not allowed to perform. The untouchable castes are outside the Varna system. The caste system is an all-India phenomena in which the Varna model provides an all-India macrostructural scheme. In other words, the Varna model only provides a framework within which the countless variation of caste throughout India are found. According to Srinivas, the Varna scheme is a hierarchy in the literal sense of the term because the criteria of ritual purity and pollution are at the base of the differentiation. Generally speaking, the higher caste are also the better off class, and the lower caste are generally the lower classes. However, this association between caste and class is not always true. A caste can be ritually high but ranked lower in the local caste hierarchy, because this hierarchy is determined by secular factors like economic, political and educational status also. Thus, one of the most striking features of the caste system as an actual reality has been the vagueness in the hierarchy, especially in the middle rungs. According to Ghuyé, in each linguistic region, there are about 200 caste groups, which are further subdivided into about 3,000 smaller units, each of which is endogamous and provides the area of effective social life for the individual. Therefore, one can say that the Varna scheme refers at the most only to the broad categories of the society and not the actual existing effective rules. The concept of dominant caste has been first used by an eminent scholar and sociologist M. N. Srinivas in his essay, The Social System of a Mysore Village, which was written after his study of the village Rampura. According to him, a caste may be said to be dominant when it preponderates numerically over the other caste and when it also yields preponderant economic and political power. A large and powerful caste group can be more easily dominant if its position in the local caste hierarchy is not too low. The term dominant caste is used to refer to a caste which yields economic and political power and occupies a fairly high position in the hierarchy. Srinivas believes that the existence of dominant caste is not particular to Rampura only. It is something that is found across India in almost all the villages. The Brahmins, being the upper caste, enjoy monopoly over social privileges. In the caste hierarchy, there was a gradual denial of rights and privileges because of the preponderance of the Brahmins. The only way to achieve a higher status was to raise one's position by adoptions of the custom and ways of life of a higher caste through the process of Sanskritization. It is in this context that Srinivas introduced the concept of dominant caste. He was of the opinion that not only the Brahmins but the local dominant caste also serves as a model of imitation. Traditionally, the caste which had highest ritual status enjoyed most of the economic and political power. However, the establishment of the Mughal rule, the frequent political changes during the medieval period, and the consolidation of the bureaucratic administration under the British rule, the networks of trade and commerce during the British rule brought about many new factors that contributed to the elevation of the caste as a dominant caste. Therefore, a caste to be dominant, it should own a sizable amount of arable land locally available, have strength of number and occupy a high place in the local hierarchy. When a caste has all the attributes of dominance, it may be said to have enjoy a decisive dominance. New factors contributing towards dominance are Western education, jobs in administration, and urban source of income, etc. Thus, caste with access to these new factors were accorded higher status and position because of political patronage and their entrance into the new economic system. People of other lower caste also looked upon them as their reference group. Another interesting aspect of the concept of dominant caste is that the ritual ranking of caste no longer applied as the major basis of its position in the caste hierarchy. Even if a caste stands low in the social hierarchy because being ranked low, it can still become the dominant caste or group in the village if it is numerically large, owns land and has considerable political influence over the village members. Now we come to the dimensions of functions of this dominant caste. Firstly, the dominant caste often acts as a reference model to the lower caste groups. The lower caste people imitate their behavior, ritual patterns, customs, etc. In this way, they help in cultural transmission. Secondly, the dominant caste of a particular locality acts as watchdogs of pluralistic culture and system. They set norms and regulation for social life. Anyone who violates the norms is severely punished. Anil Bhatt has pointed out that the leaders of the locally dominant caste may arbitrate in village matters or disputes. They decide the mode of rewards and punishments. They may determine the civic and economic privileges also. Thirdly, dominant caste are the main power holders. They establish contact with outside government officials, elected representatives and political leaders. They influence the political process. Fourthly, dominant caste, because of their dominant position, exploit all the developmental resources in their favor. They act as agents of rehabilitation programs. They accelerate the process of socio-economic developments in their areas. Fifthly, the dominant caste set values and norms for the community. Traditionally, its primary functions were judicial, executive, and legitimacy. They form the vital link between the villages and the other world. They also help in the socialization process. Due to dominant position in rural society, they control the rural economy in various ways and means. Dominant caste plays a greater role in the process of modernization. Now we come to the concept of entrenched caste. Entrenched caste is numerically small but fulfills the chief criteria of economic and political power, and is usually high in ritual status. However, in regions where large peasant castes are found in entrenched position, there may be considerable overlap between the two concepts. The entrenched caste has not been recognized on the basis of any militant caste consciousness. They were united more by common social and intellectual idiom rather than any political mobilization. Wherever the entrenched caste has been organized on the basis of one higher caste or subcaste, soon a sense of deprivation and antagonism in other caste emerges, especially among those that had earlier social and economic power. This resulted in the emergence of another political group, still drawn largely from the higher caste. The dominance of an entrenched caste thus produce a quick response in the form of an ascendant caste, one that was not simply satisfied to function in the context of independence and contemporary in social sphere. According to Kothari, the caste structures which has been polarized due to the impact of modern secularism resulted in a bilateral structure of caste politics. For instance, Brahmins versus non-Brahmins in Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra, Rajput versus Jats in Rajasthan, Baniya Brahmins versus Patidar in Gujarat, Kamma versus Reddy in Andhra Pradesh. In the context of development process, as one polarization is resolved in favor of a particular caste group, another new polarization emerges. Thus, bilateralism was followed by a stage where power, strivings and demand for benefits exceeded the availability of resources. Competing groups began to develop more bases of support, and competition began within the more entrenched and articulate section of the society. This, according to Kothari, is a stage of factionalism. This factionalism is different from the one present in traditional caste societies. This is something that develops out of political competition in which more than one personalized network of support contends for secular power. Intercaste competition was supplemented by intracaste competition. Now we come to a discussion where we discuss this idea of their impact on Indian politics. A system of social stratification such as caste rests upon the unequal distribution of power between status group having definite position in the prestige hierarchy. In any social strata, the upper echelons face the problem of how to maintain their power and position which they and their ancestors at one time achieved against the more socially disabled groups or segments of the population. It is therefore important for the higher strata to maintain their position of superiority by controlling the mechanisms of coercion. The political development of caste through time reveals that the advent of democracy and decentralized politics in the form of three-tier Panchayati Raj saw politics carried down to the grassroots level. Caste became a prominent variable in electoral politics. The demand for organized party system in politics have brought about a coalition of caste, subcaste and subdivisions in subcaste can find an active field of engagement in village politics. The introduction of democratic institutions, decentralization and universal suffrage protected the interest of the backward classes in education, employment and political life against the dominance of the traditionally powerful caste. The dominant caste was a factor to reckon with in Indian villages. Not all the dominant caste, however, were ritually superior. Dominance could be combined with land ownership, political power, numerical strength and so on. In some regions of western and northern India, one encounters dominant peasant caste combining land ownership and political power. The advent of market economy, the decline of traditional economic systems, caste-free occupations and mobilization of caste groups have all resulted in the decline of the traditional political role of caste. Yet, caste retains its political significance. This is evident, for example, in the case of the political mobilization of caste groups in Modhpur in UP. In this village, the ranks of Noiyas, the salt makers and chamars, the leather makers joined hand in opposing the locally dominant upper caste, the Thakurs. Thakurs were the Rajput landlords and the traditional dispensers of justice of erstwhile masters of the lower caste in this village. Thus, caste, which was a dividing factor, reshaped itself in the new circumstances to form a unifying factor, not only for political gains, but for material welfare and social status also. Caste alliances came to be established in various parts of India. Politics has drawn caste in its web for organizing support and in articulating the needs of the masses. The organization of support is done through the same organization in which the masses are found, namely the caste groups. In making politics their sphere of activity, caste and kin groups attached their identity to strive for positions of power. The caste provided for organized party politics and off-the-rack system of segments which could be used to marshal support. Liberal education, government patronage and an expanding franchise have been major factors that have penetrated the caste system. Dissatisfaction and exploitation prevailing within the caste groups provided a basis for organizing caste factions and alliances. Thus, modern politics found an ongoing vertical network of caste and made the structures of caste a political vehicle. According to Rudolph and Rudolph, caste has in its transformed state helped the Indian masses make a victory of representative democracy. It has nurtured the growth of equality by making Indians less separate and more alike. Indians are becoming less separate in the sense that due to the electoral system, numerical strength, that is, the number of votes, makes a lot of differences in power. Thus, it is in the interest of large majority of caste to come together to achieve their political goals. In this process, caste associations and caste federations are formed. Until the introduction of the principle of universal adult franchise, the men of higher caste were more politically active sections in the politics of the rural area. The politics of adult franchise in many regions has raised the influence of non-Brahmin middle peasants who are numerically superior and also economically substantial. Thus, modern politics takes into account the importance of caste and in doing so emphasize the element of competitiveness as between various caste groups. Although the constitutional system explicitly discourages appeal to caste, party politics has been dominated by caste mobilization of various kinds. Political democracy in India did not emerge as a natural development of ideas, values, and technologies. In fact, the notion of political democracy was adopted by the national leaders to serve the people of India in the best way possible. Thus, the values and the attitudes which went with this form of polity had to be inducted in the people. Therefore, the new political order is universal in constitution and in principle rejects the demand of caste. However, in practice, it has accommodated the variety of interest in addition to those of caste. Caste has, in fact, come to terms with the democratic political process. With this, we come to the conclusion of our discussion. Representative politics has fortified caste. However, a caste is dominant if it is numerically more than other caste. It is true that the democratic system is strengthened by the introduction of adult franchise and representative politics in India. Representative politics transforms and replaces caste as a social stratification, goes through change with modernity. Closed caste groups have become more open and accommodative. Education is no longer monopolized by a caste and is more widely available despite anyone's caste. The social base of education has diversified. Changes in patterns of land ownership and occupation leads to changes in the rigid hierarchy of the traditional caste system. Economic and political changes has transformed caste. Caste assumes new functions and roles, and caste associations are formed to contribute to economic and social mobility. The political base of caste-based leadership has diversified panchayats and local governments. Politics have been viewed as a competition between caste groups. Caste has also shaped voting behavior and patterns. Caste sentiments and loyalties are important in election. Interaction between caste and politics is an impact of democracy, and therefore, in this way, caste has institutionalized itself in the Indian political process. Thank you.